How to play Esmeralda in Mobile Legends. Esmeralda is without a doubt one of the most beloved heroes in the Mobile Legends community. Although she may seem simple at first glance, she's far more complex than she appears. Her kit allows her to deal both physical and magical damage simultaneously through her skills and basic attacks, while also granting and stealing shields from her opponents. Something that sounds strange when you think about it, but is exactly what makes her such a unique hero in the game. In today's video, I'll clearly and directly explain how her passive works, break down each of her skills, show her main combos, and finally share some builds and essential tips to help you improve your gameplay and truly master this powerful beauty of Mobile Legends. Let's start with the passive. Esmeralda is the only hero capable of dealing both physical and magic damage at the same time through her basic attacks and abilities, which is already pretty unusual. Another unique aspect of Esmeralda is the fact that she grants a shield to enemies based on the magic damage she deals. It may sound like she's trolling, but you'll understand why in a moment. When attacking any enemy with a shield, Esmeralda completely ignores that shield and deals damage directly to the target's HP. The shield she grants also has a direct connection with her first skill, which we'll cover next. Skill 1. Esmeralda gains a shield that scales with her total magic power and receives 40% movement speed, which gradually decays over 4 seconds. At the same time, she steals the shields of nearby enemies, adding them to her own and significantly increasing her durability. This is the reason why she grants shields to her opponents in the first place. Another part of her passive, which fits better here, is that Esmeralda gradually converts her own shield into HP, making her even tankier and harder to kill. To prevent her from becoming practically immortal, the total shield she can gain is capped at 50% of her max HP. Skill 2. This ability is basically an AoE attack that deals both physical and magic damage while applying a 10% slow for 1.5 seconds. This will be Esmeralda's main source of damage throughout the match, due to its strong output and low cooldown. To optimize this ability even more, you can cast Skill 1 before using Skill 2. Doing so reduces the cooldown of Skill 2 by 1.5 seconds when you hit an enemy hero. The cooldown reduction becomes 0.5 seconds when hitting non-hero units, but it still makes a noticeable difference. Ultimate. Esmeralda leaps to a designated location, dealing both physical and magic damage and immobilizing all enemies hit for 1 second. As you can see, you can hold the skill button to charge energy. The longer you charge it, the farther the ability will reach. This is a great way to apply crowd control and target squishier enemies thanks to the skill's long casting range. A very important detail you need to pay attention to is that during the charging time, the skill will be interrupted if you get hit by any form of crowd control, instantly putting it on cooldown. It will also go on cooldown if you cancel the ability while it's charging. This happens quite often in teamfights, especially against compositions with a lot of crowd control. Combos. Esmeralda has extremely simple and efficient combos. The first combo is ideal for the early game, even before you unlock your ultimate. It works like this. Activate Skill 1, use Skill 2, and weave in a few basic attacks until Skill 1 is available again. Since Skill 2 reduces Skill 1's cooldown when it hits enemies, you can repeat this cycle almost endlessly, maintaining constant pressure in the lane. The second combo is perfect for pickoffs, taking advantage of the damage and crowd control from her ultimate. Start with Skill 1. Dive in with your ultimate. Follow up with Skill 2 and continue with basic attacks. After that, just keep repeating the base combo, Skill 1, Skill 2, and basic attacks. These are probably Esmeralda's main combos, but if you know any others, feel free to share them in the comments. It helps other players a lot. Build and emblems. As explained earlier, Esmeralda can deal both physical and magic damage with her skills and basic attacks. However, the shield she generates scales only with magic power. Because of that, physical damage items are not worth building on her. The best approach is to focus on magic damage items and a few defensive options. Enchanted Talisman is a perfect item for Esmeralda, thanks to its high cooldown reduction, allowing her to use Skill 1 and Skill 2 almost non-stop. Stellarian's Scythe also fits Esmeralda extremely well, since her playstyle constantly alternates between basic attacks and abilities. Holy Crystal greatly boosts her overall damage and enhances her shield, making it a must-build in most of your setups. Feather of Heaven is a solid choice depending on the enemy composition. Besides granting magic power and attack speed, its extra on-hit damage is very effective against squishier targets. If you're facing enemies with heavy magic defense, Divine Glaive is the best option to shred through their resistance. If you prefer a more off-tank style, items like Oracle, Dominance Ice, and Blade Armor can be very useful. For emblems, Esmeralda performs best with either the support or mage emblem pages. For talents, I recommend Inspire in the first tier, Festival of Blood in the second, and Impure Rage as the final talent. As for battle spells, Vengeance is the most recommended due to the extra durability it provides, especially strong in the late game. These are some builds I use and recommend, especially for beginners. Feel free to use them as they are, or adjust them according to your playstyle and the needs of each match. Tips to improve your gameplay. Esmeralda has a relatively strong early game against most fighters in the EXP lane thanks to the shield she gains, which is gradually converted into HP. From level 2 onward, this advantage becomes even greater due to the combo between her first and second skills, which deal high damage in the first minutes of the match. Use this strength to pressure your opponent and create space to rotate and assist your team elsewhere on the map. Her first skill also grants good mobility, making rotations faster and more efficient. Her ultimate is extremely strong both in 1 versus 1 duels and in team fights thanks to the crowd control it applies. As mentioned earlier, the longer you hold the button, the greater the skill's range. But don't confuse this with damage. In straight 1 versus 1 fights, you don't need to charge the skill before using it. Instead, simply tap to cast it instantly. This will often be the better choice. In team fights, prioritize using it on enemy carries like mages and marksmen to secure a bigger advantage for your team. Her ultimate is also great for pickoffs, so use bushes frequently to increase your efficiency and catch enemies off guard. Esmeralda has very high durability thanks to the shield granted by her first skill. Use this to act as a secondary frontline for your team during team fights, especially during objective contests. For that reason, I always recommend building at least 2 defensive items. In the late game, when several enemy heroes deal extremely high damage, you can't just dive onto the first enemy you see. Always maintain good positioning and wait for the ideal moment to engage. Even though Esmeralda has high durability and damage, a single crowd control skill can be enough for the enemy team to burst you down. That's why caution and timing are essential. If this kind of content is helping you, check out the playlist dedicated exclusively to tutorials. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the upcoming videos. Thank you so much for the support, and see you in the next video.